Alright, well, the workbench area that has not been a workbench area for quite some time is about to become a workbench area again as I put together a cheap computer. Alright, the case I picked out from the guy who's keeping it on the floor is this Antec 100. The power button on top. 4 nice convenient USBs. He's an older man, so I don't want him bending under the floor to plug things in. And I have all the other parts inside, let's pull them out. Alright, now what I meant by I have everything in this computer is this. I took everything out of the Newegg boxes, packed it in here for easy transportation to the build site. That's good stuff. Alright, what do I have? I have processor cooler, and I only got this because I could not get a stock box CPU, and so it cost me more, but oh well. Here is, come on, CPU's in there, it's an OEM's which is sitting there. An Asus DVD burner because he's got all the stuff backed up from DVDs. 8 gigs of Vengeance 1600 DDR3. This is cheap. Here is the Enermax power supply. I only use Enermax power supplies because, well, I've never had one go wrong, ever. It's a 450 watt. It was cheap. It was $45. Here's the motherboard, a high-rated Biostar. And why'd I buy this? I don't know. It's a high-rated Biostar for 70 bucks. What else is in here? The rare 1 terabyte Western Digital hard drive. Rare because shit in Malaysia fucked everything up. There we go. Put that down. So step 1 is mount the board. Toilet paper. Don't need that. Step 1 is going to be mount this board in there, and then I'll show off all the rest of the stuff. Both sides of the case are off. This is the parts bin it came with. Sorted screws, wire ties, some little baby grommets for I don't know yet. Let's open the motherboard up. Comes with back panel, 2 SATA cables. Very interesting book, which usually I would just actually that's the installation guide. Yeah, there we go. We got drivers and utilities DVD. Save that. Let's see this open shot. Yes, okay, good. And here's the little baby motherboard. It's so cute. Mini ITX anti-static bag. Keep the anti-static bag around. You can always transport hard drives in it. We've got 6 SATAs. He's not going to need it. This is a AMD APU, which is the CPU is a GPU, so there'll be no video card added to this, simply because this should be enough to do any video, well, not video editing, but photo editing this guy's doing. It's got USB 3, HDMI. That's the basic, simple. I bought this because most of the caps are solid caps, and I'm a huge fan. Alright, now this is the part that sucks probably the most in mounting a motherboard. You have to put the plate in that is custom for the board. I'll video this so you can see the fail, which usually exists. No, see, look, ready? HDMI not popped up. Gotta bend that little prick up. Everything else is open. No, the sound card things aren't open. Get a screwdriver, bend those out. They could just be removed back and forth. HDMI is probably a grounding strap. Just leave that so it rests on top of the connector. In. Ow. Nice and sharp this metal is. Alright, well that's in place. Now the real pain is going to be when I zoom this out. And zoom this out while it's taking video. This is a good little camera, this FUJIFILM. I shouldn't be holding a tripod and doing this. But this is one of the tightest fits into a corner of a motherboard I've ever seen. This is in the corner. It's just there. I mean, can I get close enough? Oh, fun this tripod is. that is, I mean, that's touching the fan. The motherboard is literally going to be touching the fan. That's insane. But it is a bottom load power supply, which I do like, because power supply is usually the heaviest part. No point putting on the top of the box. Next, right, like all computer builds, something goes effed up. It didn't really screw up. It's just that I had to put in 2 more motherboard hold points and move one of the ones that was originally in the case to make this mount up. So I had to pull the board out, put those in by hand, and then the pliers to tighten, and now putting the board back. Alright. Next step, power supply unboxing. There we go. Okay, that's board. If you need a book on a power supply, you have a problem. Power supply board is fine. I believe this is going to be in one piece. Yeah, this is not a modular. I've yet to use a modular power supply. I think that's just for losers. Oh, nicely wrapped. I'm not sure if this is an anti-static bag, but it's certainly bubble wrap and wax paper. And a massive, massive bundle. That's going to be way too much stuff for this, and I won't cut them off because that's not my style. Give me a second. Power supply is mounted. 4 screws in the back. It's 120mm on top, which normally this would be upside down on the top. There's lots of stuff going on there. Next step, I'm going to put the DVD burner in, and I'll pick a slot over here. Many slots for hard drive. And I'm not going to put the processor in because I don't have any thermal paste here. Alright, a little bit of free advice on wire management. When you get your power supply in, whether it's the top mount or bottom mount, pull all of the wires to the back side. Here's the back of the motherboard. And then, once they're straightened out and not completely tangled up like that, bring just the ones you need through the other holes, plug them in. So I'm just going to need this, and I probably won't need this. This is for a power supply for a video card. That's going to probably just get stuffed back here and hidden, or curled up over here and hidden. You don't need, I don't need this. I need, let's see, I need a hard drive, a CD-ROM, or DVD-ROM, and that's it. Perhaps one of these might have to go to the motherboard. I haven't really seen what extra power connection needs to go there, but about 80% of these don't need to be in that side of the case, blocking airflow and looking disgusting. This is the other one for the motherboard. So I have 2 motherboard. This is the fans on top and back, which this case actually has 2 switches located up in the back here. You can set the top and back 120s to high or low, which is really nice. These are the rest of the cables that we're not going to use, all bundled up and shoved in, hidden away. This back should be done. I mounted the DVD-ROM there. There's no extra plate for the motherboard mount for the heatsink, so that's fine. So I'm done with this side. Pretty much done. So that's it. Close this up, move on. Actually, I am in error. I'm not done, because I have this mess of shit. And these will also go to the motherboard for power LEDs and the audio and USBs in the front, but they are long. I mean, they're long. They're real long. Long enough that I could probably hide about 10 inches of them all back here. Pop them through, whatever I need, take that. So let's move with that now. Right, this is the final view. This is what the back is going to look like when I close it up. I've got motherboard. These are all the connections to go to the motherboard for the front USBs and audio. Here are the fan controllers for front and back, powered, looped to the highest point. Shitty wires, regardless, they're not long enough. There's all the extra stuff. Let me turn it around. Alright, now without any, this is without the processor obviously and the RAM, but here are the wires leaving. They go there. Here are the wires coming in, here and here. Still a little bit of a stretch, but should fit. Here is what I left out for hard drive and DVD-ROM, and that should be it. Everything else tucks in nicely. If there was a video card going in, it would go into the black slot here, and I wouldn't be able to route this like this. Since there isn't, I can. Alright, let me give you some advice right now. If you have a Phillips head screw and you use a Phillips head screwdriver, this is the wrong size screwdriver, so it's going to skip regardless. This is not good when it skips like that. Get yourself a flathead screwdriver. So no matter what you're doing, I don't care the size of the screws or the application, a flathead screwdriver will not ever skip when you're tightening with it. Bit of an oddity. I can't screw the hard drive in from this side, so it's only going to be mounted on one side. There's holes here, but they don't line up. The actual screw hole is actually back there, with the other side having the hard drive as far forward as possible, so that sort of sucks. Am I missing something? Feels like I'm missing something. I still haven't figured out what the hell these silicone little rubber dongy dongs are for. They come with a fine thread, and hard drives are coarse threads, so they're not for that. Oh, I know what these are for. I know it. This has a solid state mount on the bottom. So these would go into the bottom of your solid state, and it would just slide in. Why would they put rubber grommets there? Solid state doesn't care if it gets shot. It's a waste of money. Alright, update on the update on the update. You can screw the hard drive in from both sides. However, there was something up here tight, obviously, and I pushed it through, and there's a third set of screw holes on the hard drive, which allows me to screw one screw in on this side, and now only one screw in on the other side. So take your pick. You're either doing two on one side or one on each side. There you go. See? One on the one side. They're both in the exact same axis, but this is held down with tabs, so lifting it up doesn't twist around. And there it is. I'm going to plug this in now. Some action footage. And of course I have this loose. It's ruining my perfection. Actually, I can bring it back there and clip it in. Do that. Alright, final look inside the case. All the wires are routed, the SATA cables are routed. Now I installed the RAM modules, and they're really high, and they're really close to the CPU. So I pulled out the Sigmatech here, the piece that comes in, it separates the fan obsessively. Here's this and here's this. All the mounting equipment needed for probably both types. And I'm going to pick this up, put it down there, and see if I'm mounting it this way, which I'm not, it's going to fit, and it's going to go, I'm going to see in a second. Good news, everyone! Where the little lines line up with the clamp, we are just there. My God, if I would have bought the 120, I would have been screwed. Yeah, why couldn't it go this way? What's wrong with this way? No, of course it can't go that way. It's got to go this way. I nearly touched that. Just keep that in mind when you're buying an aftermarket cooler. You're probably going to have a problem at some point. I'll mount the CPU later. That's it.